Hi guys, hello there, welcome back to Return of the Nerd. Today we're going to have a deep dive into the Retro Sexy Collection. How will we ever know the difference? Well, if you do your homework, I think it's quite easy to tell which are genuine and which are reproductions. Packaging for me is really important, so the box sets are everything. I think this is the only way to go. Focus on the original trilogy first. Like, Hasbro's made such a massive mistake making Book of Boba Fett and also Mandalorian figures and even the Acolyte in a box set. What do you think? What were you thinking of? Stick to what you know best. And this demographic here, who are your customers? Who are going to buy 5 points of articulation? That's right, old geezers like me who are in their mid-50s who went to see Star Wars as a kid, and I was only 5 years old, and I bought all the toys and played with them, and I still have them. I've got them right here and I'm going to show you in a minute. My mommy bought them for me and I played with them as a kid. So this guy, he probably will just, there you go. That's a very compromising position. C3PO, please don't do that. He is just, I played with him so much. Look, I can just do this. This is the loosest C3PO ever. Right. R2-D2 is next. This one has been absolutely battered. His sticker is almost non-existent. Oh, it's still got a click. Can you hear that? That's cool. This blue rectangle here, right, is also on R5-D4. If you can find R5-D4 and it's colored in red, it's a variant, and it's very, very rare. Like, you really got to know what you're looking for. If you're going to collect Kenner, do your homework first. Okay, 1, 2, we got Ben Kenobi. Okay, so is this one. Here we go. There were a couple of variants. One was white-haired, the other one was a grey-haired Ben Kenobi. And he comes with a telescopic lightsaber, which is really good because a lot of those got broken. Kids used to just take scissors and cut the tips off. So that's really cool. Right, well, who's next? Oh yeah, it's we better not mention that word death. I really want to get this guy in the original card back in mint condition. Death Squad Commander. I like Hasbro, props to Hasbro, because, you know, they didn't change it. There were like about 4 different variations of this guy. Some of them had the rank on the chest, and then others completely missing. And I've got the original weapons with them as well. That was one thing that I was very careful about when I was a kid. It's like, do not lose the accessories. The accessories are really important. And I'm so happy with my younger self, because if you can find these with their original blasters, it like literally triples the price. Death Squad. Yeah, mums, don't complain. I think it's really funny that Hasbro didn't give us the vinyl Cape Jawa. Maybe they were just too scared, and they were like, oh, everyone's just going to buy that, and they'll be up on eBay in a split second, and people were saying, hey, buy this for $500,000 US. Look what I found. It's so rare. Yeah, it's so rare that all of a sudden there's 100 of them on eBay. And when I was a kid, I used to chew on these because I was only 6. And I used to put them in my mouth and I used to chew on the legs of my Jawas. I probably bought this one on a Return of the Jedi card back when I was a lot older. That was after I stopped putting my toys in my mouth, Sam Person. And there were also a lot of different variations, especially to do with the hollow tube. Let's have a look at the armpit. See, look, the armpit's gone as well. Yeah, these things always got ripped pieces. That's why you always find a lot of the old Jawas and a lot of the old Tusken Raiders on the secondary market. You can only really pick them up when they're naked. Let's open this up. Now, I really like the box art on here, but I do not like this big red ugly sticker. I've always hated this, and I'm so glad that we can peel them off of the card back. But this is still too big. This side with the original pictures is very nostalgic to me. I used to go to the corner shop and I'd get my pack of bubble gum with the cards inside, the trading cards, and I'd go to school and I'd trade my Star Wars cards during playtime. These are like, they remind me of those trading cards. But let's go ahead and open this up. Right, that was fun. I'm noticing something already. The one thing that I really didn't like about these card backs was the fact that they have like the fake scuff effects around the edges to make them look old and worn, and I just don't think that's necessary. But they're on there now, so you might as well keep them there. Otherwise, it's going to look silly if you take them off. And also, this retro sticker was just so annoying for such a long time. Don't put it on there. I mean, it's so obvious that these are not Kenner. It's so obvious that these are not vintage Kenner. There's no need for this huge sticker. I mean, there's no point of it. So, look, the back of these cards could do with some work. I mean, I think it's kind of boring. The original card backs always had that nice yellow color, and then it would like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you would circle or you'd tick which ones that you had, and I need this one, I'll put a little X over here, and then you'd show your friend and go, oh, but this one, I haven't got him, do you have him? And so I would like to see that on the retro collection. This is the most nostalgic card back for me. I don't know why, just seeing C-3PO in the Death Star brings back a lot of childhood memories for me, and I really want to get this off because I like covering his private parts as well. Wow, this is super nice. They're a lot more chunky than the original Kenner. A lot more, they're heavier, they're a lot more chunky, you can tell. And the, wow, these vinyl capes are a lot stronger, a lot tougher. But I think the likeness, if you're, you know, you really don't have the money or the inclination to go back and collect all those Kenner toys, then I think the retro collection is a really good second choice. You know what the first thing I did when I took this out of the bubble? I sniffed it. I'm not lying. I've sniffed every figure, so I've sniffed, especially this guy. I love sniffing this guy, the plastic. Oh, so good. Oh, get high on this. This is like, I never understood why Kenner did this, right? Because this is how every kid played with a Sandman. We first see him attack Luke and he stands up and he goes like this, right? With the gaffy stick above his head. But as soon as you raise his hands, of course, what's the first thing that happens? This gets ripped. Okay, so here's another thing that you need to know. If you really are serious about collecting Kenner, you have to understand the accessories because they are also very complicated and very detailed. There are different shades of dark blue and black and specific blasters for specific figures. Okay, cool. Pew, 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 pew. Oh no, wait, when I was a kid, it was like that. It wasn't pew. There's no pew. All I can say is his face is a little bit too white, but that's okay. Yeah, I've noticed that on some of the retro collection figures, their faces are like really white. Sometimes I've seen people take them out of the packaging and they're like bow-legged, or they got one leg longer than the other. This one, his legs look like they're a bit too close together. Yeah, these guys are really nice. So nice. His hair is really white. It's much whiter than the original Kenner. Beautiful. Love the telescopic lightsabers. This is like one of my favorite things, you know. I always used to have Ben Kenobi and Darth Vader have a duel together, and most of the time Darth Vader would lose because it's my imagination and I'm playing with my toys and it's my game, and I say who wins and who dies and who lives. These two I've decided I'm not going to open because they're too nostalgic. I want to keep R2-D2 and C-3PO on the card backs and just peel off this sticker and then put them on my wall. So the thing about the Jawa retro character is I think it's a little bit hard to get the weapon into his hands. In fact, that's actually a good thing because on some of the first ones that were released, the hand grip was like this. It was too wide, especially the Stormtrooper on that first 6-pack. I remember the blaster just would not stay in the hand. It just kept falling out on the floor. And so you can see now as the retro collection progresses, they're actually getting a lot better. One of the reasons why I don't play with my original Kenner vintage is because every time you put the blaster into his hand, you know, you're scratching it, you're making a scuff mark, and I don't want to do that. But these, you know, with these new ones, it's great because you can just have them, you can play with them just like old times, just like the good old days back in the late 70s when we used to wear flared collars and bell-bottom jeans, and we'd had really dodgy haircuts. Oh, just so many memories. Dun dun. He's so small, isn't he? You're so tiny. Pew, pew, pew. Wilhelm scream. These two I just love so much because the card backs are really nostalgic. C-3PO and R2-D2. So I'm going to keep them like this and then I'm going to put them on my wall. Look how straight that card is. I'm saying like these cards have gotten much better as well. These ones are much tougher, much harder, a little bit thicker. And so when you take them out of like when you slide them out of the box, you're like, oh great. They're not, because I've had them where they're like almost, they're warped. But these are getting a lot nicer now like really hard. The bubbles, you know, there's the bubbles are stuck on nicely. I think this is good quality. But I just wish they would focus on the OG, the original trilogy. Stop mucking around with this. Okay, no one gives a monkey's something. Can we just focus on the original trilogy before we start getting ahead of ourselves with prequel figures? Because it becomes a mess. It's disorganized. I mean, was it last year that there was a box which was like half and half? It was like one side was Attack of the Clones and the other side was Revenge of the Sith. And I was like, come on, what are you doing? And also, Hasbro, you need to think about army building because that's becoming an issue. These box sets are lovely, but I think you need to introduce army building sets just like in the TVC. They have those little army building packs. The latest box set with the Sand Trooper and also with the Rebel Fleet Trooper, we seriously need to army build those figures. But the only way we can really do that is, you know, we'd have to have some kind of box where you get like 4 or 5 or even 6 in one set. 3 hours later. Okay, I have to admit something. I was wrong. You see, this box set came out several years ago and the stickers, you're not supposed to take them off. So I've been picking and picking and picking for like the last 20 minutes and it's come off, but I've got, you can see here, I've ripped the card back in 2 places and it doesn't feel right. It's like all sticky and horrible. That was my fault. I'm an idiot. And I do realize that the new box set, which I do have, by the way, the Dr. Evazan and the Sand Trooper, I do have that box set. Those ones, the retro label does actually peel off. By the way, if you guys are really serious about collecting the original vintage Kenner, I suggest you buy a book first. I can recommend, what's that? Wait a minute. What do you want? No, you cannot be in my video. What? You're a Cantina alien? No, you're not. You're not even in the movie. Who are you? No, you're not a Tusken Raider just because you got your hands in the air. But you're from Battlestar Galactica. Get out of the shot. I'm really sorry about that. I would definitely suggest that you get this. This is a great book. The Ultimate Guide to Vintage Star Wars Action Figures, 77 to 85. And it goes through like all the figures, the accessories, you know, the creatures, the play sets, the vehicles, I mean everything. The retro collection, I feel, over the last several years has gotten back on track again. Please, no more figures associated with any of the new media content. You will lose money. Mostly, you know, this is a bold statement, you know, 99% of retro collection collectors, they want to be reminded of the toys that they had before, the toys that made us. So just keep going with the original trilogy and like step by step introduce like the next 6 and then the next 6 and keep going. And I think that the retro collection, the direction it's going to go in the future is really cool. The collector base is going to expand a lot. Who knows? Hasbro might start making, you know, hey, this is the Jawa Sandcrawler, or here's a split belly Tauntaun, here's a Dewback, here's the original Palatoy Death Star playset, and not just giving us stuff that was already produced. There are other accessories and creatures and vehicles that we could make that we never got. Write a list. And I think that Hasbro, like, and Mr. Stevie they just want to know how to satisfy the target group, the consumer. Like, what do we want? Right, that's it for today. That's enough playing. I need to go and do my homework. Otherwise, my mum's going to be angry. It's a school night. So don't forget to subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. And I'll come back with a lot more box opening videos. And we're going to talk about 3.75 Retro Collection, TVC, the Black Series, all kinds of toys, you know, like basically everything that Hasbro comes out with. Okay, bye-bye for now. I'm going to wave, but I'm not sure which hand to use.